thing. When most people think about freelancing, they jump straight to the usual suspects like social media management jobs, content writing or virtual assistant. And please don't get me wrong, these are still legit jobs that companies are hiring and paying thousands of dollars for. But they are saturated. Thousands of people are competing for the same role, the same pay, and it is getting harder for people to stand out, even the ones who are well qualified. But what if I told you that there are other freelance jobs, like the ones I call the unconventional ones, the ones people often overlook? Yet, businesses, companies are desperate. They are quietly budgeting thousands of dollars for those job roles. So, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down 7 freelance jobs you probably never considered. And I'm also going to be talking about, like what those jobs looks like, how you are going to position to actually, get into it, and how clients justify paying premium rates for those jobs. So, if you're ready, let's get in. So, welcome back to my channel again. My name is Cynthia Ozumba, and over here we talk about freelance, we talk about passive income ideas, side hustle, anything that would actually put us there, making money the legit way and living the life of our dreams. So, welcome. Now, getting right into revealing the 7 freelance jobs you can do from home. Here is something I need to tell you. First and foremost, this is a whole masterclass, and you need to get a pen and a paper because you're about to learn something that is going to be life changing exposure for you. I don't know, like, yeah, something like that. Okay. Secondly, if you're coming to the very end of this video and you pick just one, don't overwhelm yourself. One, and you commit to that one area for like 3 months, you're going to come back to this video with a testimony. Secondly, you're going to also leave this video saying, yes, my data, my time, everything was worth it because I'm about to spill. So the number one freelance job is digital brand strategist. Now, your job as a digital brand strategist is not about logo, it's not about posting, it's not about all of those things. Your job is to turn your client's conviction into clarity so that the whole business can show up online consistently. I will explain. Now, this very job role requires you to have simple knowledge about some online skills like social media management, graphic design, video editing, UX, user experience, right? Customer support, layout, all of those plenty things. Now, you're not going to be doing the actual work. You are a strategist, meaning that you're the one that actually like look through what the brand wants to do with their goal. Either it is a new brand or already an existing brand, and you are going to help them maintain a consistent brand flow. Now, that is where picking their confusion and turning it into clarity comes to play. You're going to be spending your first week listening to your client's conviction and researching about those convictions. So you're going to be researching customer interviews, competitor audits, and social listening. And then when you're done researching, you're going to use that result, that data, to map out how the brand currently speaks and how their ideal customers want to be spoken to. You see, researchability and attention to details is the greatest skills of a digital brand strategist. You need to also be knowledgeable in a lot of online skills that is related to building a brand. See, there are stages to this work. Remember, I said the first thing or the major thing you want to do is to take your client's confusion and turn it into clarity. And how do you do it? The first thing is to pitch your services to a potential client, to brands, and all of that. Yeah. And they look your way and say, okay, can we jump on a call? And then jump on a call with you. So this is where you now listen to these clients' confusion, their problem, their complaints and everything. That is the first stage, or that is the second stage. Now, the third stage is now when you go into your research mode, where you want to go and gather data, help them, interview, review so many things, and okay, what is the root cause of all this problem? Now you are done. That data you have gathered from your research is what you're going to use to develop a brand strategy. I mean, like, this job is so sweet, and it is funny how people neglect it, but a lot of brands and companies actually need it. So you're going to deliver a brand strategy blueprint. It's going to be like a small document, a compiled, well-detailed small document that explains, the problem, what they need to do, how they need to adjust. Now, this document is going to contain positioning, like who the brand, like the brand you're working for, who they are to the customers they want to attract. So you're going to also have something like messaging, what to say, content pillars. So you can even go ahead as developing a 90-day content plan for them. Remember the main goal is to turn their confusion into clarity, to help them show up online consistently without no confusion. And for the content playbook that you want to develop for that brand, for your ID client, make sure that the messaging is tied to their revenue goals, because every client wants to make money. It is always like the big problem in everything. They want to make more money, they want to be able to attract more audience. So as a strategist, how are you going to help them position properly to generate more revenue? Now, to find a client or to find clients in this kind of job role, you have to do a mini audit. Now, I've actually thought about how to do mini audits in my social media blueprint bundle. So now you're going to do a mini audit, and there's a caveat. So when you're doing this mini audit, be very careful not to offer so much so that you don't give out everything and losing out completely. So if there are like 10 problems that brand is facing currently, give them five. Your mini of this should have a lot of curiosity in it. So give them five and let them know that there is so much more problem, and you are the one who has a solution to that problem. Trust me, if you do it this thing absolutely well, you're going to have, I don't know, like it depends on how many clients you pitch in a week or something. I usually have a target of how many clients I pitch, but say for instance you pitch to 10 clients, five clients are going to come and say, okay, can we talk? Can we have an interview around these things? That is how to start. This is one of the low friction way to get your foot in, and prove your value, and then charge your worth. Now, so if you're a skilled researcher and you love storytelling like myself, or you know how to analyze trends so much, I know how to use analytics tools a lot. So instead of just saying, oh, I'm a content creator, I'm a social media manager, repackage yourself. You are a what? You're a business partner, you're a digital brand strategist. That is where the big checks are. So forget the content creation. And you know the funny thing, you might end up in this whole job doing the content creators work, the content creation work, or it still boils down to whole positioning. Remember, it is digital. The word digital means online. You want to do everything humanly possible to make sure that your clients are actually getting the recognition they want online. So instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm another content creator," I would give you 90-day content plan and whatever. No, call yourself a digital brand strategist. Apart from the fact that the name is elevating and it kind of, just no, it is more in depth. And with everything I have said, you can also go and research more on it. Do your homework, due diligence before jumping right into it. And don't jump right into any of those skills, any of those jobs I'm going to be mentioning in this video. If your social media is messy, like you don't have any well optimized social media profile, you're going to lose out. In fact, you're going to be wasting your time. You're going to be gambling a lot with your time and energy. The second freelance job that is not saturated yet is becoming a digital brand developer. So I know you'll be like, okay, yeah, so digital brand strategist, digital brand developer. So what's the difference? Actually, there's a slight difference. You can become both, but it is important I split both in this video. So you need to understand each other independently before deciding how to merge both skills together. You need to have both skills, be able to merge it together. But I will explain. You know how we talk about, or you know how we say action is different from talking, this is different from words. Now, this is the difference between a strategist and a developer. So, a developer is an action, is like doing the work. Why words is the strategist? Remember when we said, okay, like a digital brand strategy is the one that go into the research mode, bring out the problem, bring out deeper business solution, real business solution, and then you offer it to the client and say, okay, I know you already have a team of creative. This is what I'm giving to you. Give it to them, let them implement, and it's going to work. But the developer takes it and say, give it to me. I and my team are going to work on this thing to give your brand the recognition that it needs, not just the recognition, to make you sure that if revenue is your goal, we're going to help you 2x, that is two times your revenue goal within 4 months, within 3 months. So did you see now the difference? But let's explain the brand developing more so that you can actually know, do you want to match the both job skills, or would you stick to one? But in most cases, there is something I call value stacking. It depends on who I'm pitching and the brand I'm pitching. If I'm pitching to a brand that I know that okay, I can match the both skills, yeah, I do it. If I'm pitching to a brand that I said, okay, it is better off to just call myself a brand strategist or a brand developer, then I go with it. The most important thing is to be well grounded so you don't end up flopping in an interview, or embarrassing the whole job niche. Now, becoming a digital brand developer, this is how it works. And that is why I said you need to know both skills. You need to understand both job roles. So if the digital brand strategy sets the roadmap, you as a digital brand developer, you build the engine. Simple. This job role requires both implementation and system thinking. You take the strategy and you rewire it into a tangible asset, systems, and process. Like you execute. Now, this job is a lot deeper, just like we said in digital brand strategy or strategies, that you need to have some online skills, be knowledgeable in them, right? Right. So now, because you are the executor, you are the builder, developer. You're going to take the idea and transform it into an action, like you execute everything. So now you need to know what website development is all about. You need to have good knowledge of user experience, how like user experience works. You need to be well grounded in graphic design. Now, graphic design is not a Canva graphic design kind of thing. You need to transcend into that. You need to know what work and what will not work, right? So now you can have a team of people, but being knowledgeable will help you land the job first, because you're not going to be going into the job interview with a team of people. You're going to be representing the whole team as a person, then take the whole idea to the team, to the individual team, a video editor, graphic designer, whoever it is that is going to be manning each responsibility, and they will execute it well. And you take everything and give to your client, get your pay. And trust me, is it this kind of job, being a like a digital brand developer, you can actually earn. Check Upwork or Fiverr or any of these big freelance jobs. You'll see that their pay per project is around $5,000, $4,000 to $6,000, if not more. Even as it's digital, for a digital brand strategy, you can earn between $2,000, $1,005 or $1,000, actually, because you're not doing the a lot of work per se, like a digital brand developer will be doing. This is a good place to start. This is a good niche. If you have the knowledge, if you have the skills, you know, you're going to make so much money from it. But here's something I will tell you. If you're new to any of these two jobs that I've mentioned, I think you should start with one. One is a lot more easier, right? Yeah, one is a lot more easier. And if you'd also know how to, do to offer mini audits, because I mentioned mini audits in the first one, that is digital brand strategy, you might want to reach out to me. But then, yeah, so I think you should start with the first one, then gain like a foot in, and then transition into becoming like a digital brand developer. Now, you again, I'm going to say it, even while I'm still in the hole. I'm not like a graphic designer, like a full graphic designer myself. I'm not. I know, I understand how landing pages works, funnel, email automation, CRM tools, and everything. And this is something I need to tell you. While you want to transition into the second, becoming both a strategist and a developer, this is where networking is going to mean something else for you. This is where partnership and collaboration is going to also mean something. If you have always thought about these things to be or happen in a particular way, no. So now, if you're going to be turning towards this area, this career area, make sure that you're networking with people that you can work with tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Network with people you're going to be working with. Your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your TikTok, right? Or even on Facebook. So look out for people within this area. So if while you're still like a digital brand strategist and you're looking at, upgrading or transitioning to being like a builder, while you're networking, learn so much about it. Sometimes you interact and engage people who have real experience into questions and conversations and discussions, so you can also learn from experience and read up some things. You can take courses, not necessarily because you want to be the one to, but because you want to have hands-on experience, or sorry, knowledge. And there are some that you can also do for yourself. Again, everything boils down to the kind of clients you want to, the kind of clients or the kind of niches or industry you want to work with. For someone like me that wants to maybe like attract clients in fintech, fashion, yeah, I may not really want to have people that are into so much technical. Now, the third freelance job you can do is becoming like a community manager. I know you've heard about this, but again, how did you hear about this job? You heard about it the social media managers or management way, or you heard about it the virtual assistant. I doubt if you even heard that you can become like a webinar assistant, a community virtual manager. Yeah, so now I'm going to explain something to you. See, I've seen a lot of businesses treat communities, their communities like an afterthought, or maybe like add on to customer service or marketing. But it is not even supposed to be like that. And now these weaknesses is what you're going to leverage on in your pitching, in your interview, when you're sending out proposals. You're going to let them know that you're going to be treating that community like a product that increases customer lifetime value. So your work here is going to begin with, hypotheses. I'm going back to research days in school, but yeah, that's what it is. You're going to start with, okay, what is the community for? Is it a customer support community? Is it a peer learning? Most of you that have gone through, ALX virtual assistant training, the community are peer learning community. So you need to understand what the purpose of that community. So customer support should be treated as a customer support community. Peer learning community should be treated as a peer learning community. Secondly, you need to also understand if the community is for advocacy, like maybe NGO, right? There is a cause they are trying to derive or achieve, something like that. And lastly, you need to also understand, is it a paid membership? Yes, you know how we have community on YouTube. Like when you get monetized on YouTube, you have access to that community that allows you to put a particular price, and people keep renewing monthly or yearly depending on how you set it. You also have community on Telegram. So is it a paid membership? Do they renew weekly, monthly, annually, quarterly? These are the things you need to understand. These are the things we mean by hypothesis. So once you understand what the community is, the different purposes or the purpose itself, that is where you're going to design your onboarding flow, and the different membership ties, and like engagement rituals. Okay, how do you want to engage? Is it morning, afternoon, and evening? These are the work that a community manager do, that a lot of persons ignore, that a lot of big businesses think that they don't need. In fact, you can actually pitch that a business that does not have any sort of community can develop one. Yes. So some businesses think that once they're online and they have repeat customers online, and sorry, online I mean by Instagram, they're on Facebook and they're posting every day, so that does it for them. No, you can actually pitch that okay, they can open a Telegram channel, and thankfully we now have WhatsApp channel. So you can pitch that they can open a Telegram channel or a WhatsApp channel where they post daily product updates, that it is more personal. And this Telegram channel or WhatsApp channel is going to be for customers that have bought before. And it is easier to sell to customers that have bought before because their loyalty level is at like 70% or something than to the new ones. And once you get a new customer, so you're going to also have like a ritual, an engagement, is it engagement ritual or a method that allows them to, after payment, join your Telegram group so that they can get, updates. And I'll keep saying it. You see, paying attention to details and researchability is the greatest skills you have. Is your greatest advantage in milking out from this industry, these 7 freelance jobs that I'm mentioning in this video. Because so if you're going to, okay, I've mentioned community management and you feel like community management is okay, it's simple. Let me jump on it. I know how to send messages. It is not like that. Researchability. So before you jump into pitching or proposing anything to a client, make sure you've done your research about that company, that brand, the client itself. If it is a personal brand, kind of maybe like a coach, an entrepreneur, consultant, yeah, make sure you've done the research so that when you're pitching, you're coming from a place of, I've actually visited your brand, your website, your socials. I know what you people do. I know where you people are actually like, missing out on this whole thing. And I have the solution, and I know what we can do to make these things better. So the client will be like, oh, okay, you've gone far. Oh, yeah, come closer. Let's see how far you can go. That is how to gain their attention. Not going to say, oh, I'm a good if you like, use ChatGPT to write all the beautiful skills a good community manager can have, and use it to pitch without first holding them. You know how you tell somebody, oh, there's a stain on your back, you've gained their attention. At that point, they are trying to like, okay, can you help me cover? That is how you should think. See, some of your real life experiences that's why I say some offline skills are transferable if you actually know what you're doing. So yeah, that's how actually to nail it, to milk it. And yeah, this one may not pay you as much as like a brand developer, a digital brand strategist, like maybe in 2000, 3000, $4,000. But this one can get you started. You can start from maybe 150, $200, depending on the kind of client you want to work with, and if it is an international client. Because if you ask me, international clients pay more. Now, the fourth freelance job you can do that is not also saturated yet is becoming a digital course consultant. Now, there are two things here. You either become the both, which is digital course consultant or digital course creator. So you either become the both or choose to become a consultant. And just like the way we did with strategies and the developer is still the same thing. The consultant is the one that listens to your problem and says, okay, I think since you already have this vast knowledge of experience in this industry and you want to turn into, okay, do you think the consultant is not the one that says, okay, maybe a video course will work, maybe an audio course will work, maybe selling a book will work, maybe doing like a coaching will work, maybe having a consultation will work. They are the one. But a course creator is more like also like a consultant, right? Yeah, because you have to have both knowledge depending, just in case if the client already have like a creative or have set of creatives that are going to work for him or her, but just need someone to better research the industry or the market or the audience and know what is going to work best for them. Again and again, paying attention to details and researchability is your greatest advantage in milking out from this industry. So if you know how to do research, if you know how to analyze trends, you're going to do well in this. So you listen to your clients, say for instance, you're a cost consultant, you listen to it, it's okay. I think this, you map out a strategy. You're also going to map out a strategy, cost modules, like stages and stuff like that. But the course creator is the one that, okay, you don't just map out strategies or modules or scripts and everything. You also create them. You give say for instance your client wants like a book, you go ahead to write the book using your client information, because again you have to listen to your client story to be able to develop something. And this job niche is going to pay you so well because number one, it's not even saturated yet. And it is an aspect of ghostwriting, but then you can actually watch like a video I already did on ghostwriting somewhere around my video channel. Yeah. Now, it is going to pay you because it is not saturated yet. And secondly, the online educational industry or sector is booming. And a lot of these coaches or entrepreneurs do not even know how to like structure their knowledge into like a profitable course. Some of them, it is not just about the structuring, it is actually like they don't have the time, so they need a helping hand. They know that okay, they have the audience, they just need to like have the time to do it. So that is where you come in. That is where you either become the creator or the consultant. So you have to choose. So the kind of client you're pitching to will also determine if you would pitch as a consultant or you pitch as a creator. And your job is simply to help them, outline modules, design learning paths, and maybe also create engagement exercises, and maybe like also suggest platforms where they can host these things, platforms where they can use for this teaching, for this coaching, whatever thing. And you need to really be very good, be very knowledgeable with course creation. Again, you have informations in the internet so you can read it up, but you need to be good to be able to know what begs fit a particular style. Or maybe like when the client tells, this is what I have, this is what I have in my head, a client will come to you and like, okay, for instance, I want to make 10 videos, or I have 10 ideas on how people can make money, passive income ideas or something, and he or she wants to turn it into a video course. And then instead of you just telling the client, okay, let's just create 10 videos, why don't you say, okay, let's create 10 course modules. Videos, they are going to be videos, but it is course modules. You know why? Because each topic is a mode, and you're going to have like implementation checklists, like exercises, assignments, all of those things, just so it is so detailed. And they are going to be like maybe templates or things that they can read up instead of just bunking it. So you need to have like an experience. And I did this a lot. I did it so well with the SMM blueprint bundle that I created. 43 plus videos is a lot actually. But yeah, this is something you need to have knowledge about before you can actually excel well in it. But then it is a profitable niche. It is one of those jobs that you would not hear people talk about. But trust me, a lot of persons are making cool cash from it. They are not gatekeeping. Some persons just don't know how to share information. So that's why you have me. I'm sharing, I'm teaching. Again, everything we're talking about are jobs you can do online. So if you understand how people learn online, or if you yourself have taken enough courses, and I think I'm really good at this thing and I've been able to excel at this very job role, and it's something I've done a lot of the times, because what I've taken enough courses to understand how people learn, what works, what doesn't work, which style is more suitable to learn on a particular topic. So if you understand this thing, just like I've also understood it, trust me, you're going to step into this job role without any kind of stress, and you're going to like do well at it. So before we move to number five, I have two bonuses in this video, so make sure you stay to the very end. Now, the fifth job you can do from your home is becoming like a podcast manager. Yeah, podcast is everywhere. A lot of persons are doing a lot of podcast show, but trust me, some of these people hate the technical side of the producing a podcast. So if you can step in that role, you pitch and let them know, okay, you don't necessarily have to be physical there, but then these are the aspects where you're going to be, because again, this is a work from home job. So you're going to pitch and let the potential clients know that you can be able to help them manage the technical roles while he or she just goes there, just do his or her thing, and they're out. And then you also manage their dictating, and then once this is done, you also man, maybe like the client has added you or will add you as a moderator to the YouTube channel, to the Spotify, or whatever they want to post their podcast video. And they've added you as a moderator, so you can also be able to like maybe upload the video, edit it, reply to comments, schedule the video. Like if the video is to go live at a premiere time, so as a podcast manager, you're going to be helping with, managing recording schedule, guest research, planning the shooting, scripting, episode planning, editing, and the distribution of the podcast video at the end of the day. You also help with, sending mails. Once you source out the guests, you help prep them the interview prep or podcast prep list, maybe questions or areas that you would need them to answer, stuff like that. And when the whole shooting is done, you're also going to be writing the show notes, or maybe the one you give to your client. Podcast is usually like a two-way thing, an interviewer asking another person question, or sometimes it can be two or more people, right? So now there's a show notes, the question that they now ask the guests. Meanwhile, the guests must have gotten like an idea of what they are going to be asked, or the angle, or like a topic center where they are going to be focused on. And at the end of the day, when the whole thing is done, you follow up with the editor. The video editor has edited. You're also going to write like the video description. You're going to follow up on comments. So yeah, so you have to now choose which one you want to do. So do you want to, in most cases, I will tell you, because I've also pitched in this area, some clients want somebody that stays in their area. So if you're in Nigeria, Lagos, and you're pitching to become a podcast manager, some clients would want you to be like also in Lagos, so that anything can come up and they would need you to be around on the shooting scene. And if you're pitching an international client, because this is where I knew that, okay, yeah, it is important that sometimes location too can be like a barrier in this kind of niche, but nevertheless, you can still pitch from anywhere, like a Nigerian to a Nigerian, like a Lagosian to a Lagosian. Yeah, but then that is fine, because international clients would also want somebody like in New York, in France. So just so in case there is a need for you to just show up. But again, it's still something you can do from your home. You can follow up on the video editor from your house, script writing from your house, description, show notes from your house, then just minimal show up once in a while. Now, the sixth job you can also freelance from your house, that is also not saturated, is email marketing strategies. Not just those copywriters that so do emails. No, not the ones that write newsletters, but an email marketing strategies that sell outcome. You are more concerned about outcome. There's a tailored result, and of course, email still pays. Like it still pays and pays big. And a lot of freelancers, most people actually ignore this very niche or this lane, because they think, oh, email is an old thing. But trust me, businesses have come to understand that email drives sales, especially well tailored emails drive sales better than social media. So the kind of email marketing strategies that businesses or brands or companies are looking for right now are not those ones that just write newsletters, or somebody that just have basic copywriting skills. No, you need to just go beyond that. You need to know how to do audience segmentation. You need to know how to map out customers journey, yeah. And you also need to learn how to do lead magnets. All right. So the job I did as a social media executive, really exposed me to a lot of these things, especially using Mailchimp and Convert Kits. These are one of the tools we used, and I would say I enjoyed it. It's so fun. if you already know how to create content, if you're good with words, you know how to play around storytelling and everything, you're actually going to do so well in this niche. You just need to have like a bit of some marketing skills too, and then know how to use this email marketing platforms or tools like Mailchimp and ConvertKit and so many other ones. And you need to like really know how to use the tools and then pitch. And this one really pays so much. Imagine how much like a good copywriter is earning. Now think of somebody that is like an email marketing strategist. You're going to earn so much more. Now the seventh one, which is the last one, is the UX researcher or conversion auditor. A lot of small companies run their businesses on assumptions about user behavior. So your job as a freelance US researcher is to test those assumptions and find the friction points and find fixes that increases conversion and retention too. This very job role often pay really high because if you as a freelance US researcher or conversion auditor can help a client, even just help them gain even just 1% onboarding completion in their maybe app or something, they will be satisfied that okay, actually this person has done the work. So if this is like your thing, you know how to do research conversion. Yeah, it's actually like a niche for you. Now let's talk about the bonuses I promised you earlier. So this is more like the eighth freelance job, right? So the eighth one you can do is becoming like an online reputation manager, and this is one job that almost nobody talks about. And it is funny how we know this, that businesses and even personal brands are really, really careful. They care so much about their reputation, their presence online, and negative reviews, press releases, some kind of mixed information can actually damage that reputation they are trying to protect online. So this is where your job as a person or a reputation manager comes in. Now, this job role is a bit tasky because you really need to be up and about. And here is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be helping them monitor their online presence. You're going to be monitoring their mentions wherever their names are mentioned. That means some persons like to say, "Oh, a social media manager can do it," but if you keep calling yourself a social media manager, you can never get this job, and you will keep applying to job roles that are already saturated, and the applying rate is so high. So yeah, why not just call yourself online reputation manager? So you just monitor your clients' mention, respond to reviews, and help them optimize their profiles to stay out of any form of this trouble. So you also help them keep pushing out positive content that will counter any form of negative content or any kind of negative narrative that people are already pushing out them or would push out against them, against their brand. So if you understand search engine optimization, the basics, you also understand PR, public relation, and you understand communication, you can actually like fit into this job. It is not every time I'm a content creator, I'm a virtual assistant, I'm a social media manager. Level up and do better. Now, the second bonus that I've attached to this mind blowing video is like a small PDF in the description. And now that PDF is going to teach you how to price, how to package yourself, and how to pitch to these unconventional offers or jobs that we have talked about in this video. So, these are 7 unconventional freelance jobs you can do from home that are not saturated yet. So, you need to just dive right into it, commit to it, learn and put yourself out. So yeah, you be among the first set of people like us to tap into these niches. Again, you would notice how integrated these jobs are. Those jobs that I've mentioned in this video are from the strategist to the developer to the community manager to to podcast manager and the rest of them. You notice how integrated you can actually become everything, but I would advise that you pick the one that you seem a bit more in tune with and then progress. The most important thing is to find something legit that you're doing that is going to help you make money. Yes. And the beautiful thing with all of this thing is that even with your virtual assistant skills, social media management skill, or your content writing skills are also part of the requirement to becoming any of those things in this job. Like you need to know how to write to probably do email marketing strategy or becoming an email marketing strategist. You need to learn how to write, to do brand development, to do all of these things, community management. So at the end, they are all integrated into each other. So now let's talk about you. So which of those 7 jobs surprised you the more? Let's have a conversation in the comment section. And please do not forget to subscribe, share, comment, and just put on the notification bell for more beautiful, mind blowing, exposing content like this. I'll see you in my next.